to Mindful Minutes, a segment of Security Halt Podcast. With you today is yours truly, Cab, and we're going to focus on something that a lot of us struggle with, and that's anxiety. You might know what it is, but we're going to go into deep detail about it and figure out why it affects us the way it does and what we can do about it. So anxiety is actually your body's natural response to stress. It's that feeling of fear and apprehension you feel like in your core, in your gut. It physically embodies itself in that painful pit of your stomach and sweating and hot flashes you feel when you're like going through, for example, the first day of school or when you first join the military. Some anxiety is actually normal and actually leads to our increased performance. Think about a PT test, or you studied real well for a test and you still got that anxiety, but you crush it. Sometimes it's actually completely normal. However, if your feelings of anxiety are extreme and they last longer to, 7, 8, 9 months, and it actually interferes the way that you live your daily life, this is when we have to start thinking about, oh shit, do I actually have an anxiety disorder? So what's the difference, right? It sounds like it's all normal. It sounds like it's every day, especially if you're in the military and you operate in those high expectation, high threat areas. Well, normal anxiety is more like your occasional worry about circumstantial events, like when you get dumped, or you're going through a bad breakup, an exam, or something that may leave you just upset. It can also be an embarrassment or your self-consciousness when you're facing a really uncomfortable social interaction. Random cases of the nerves or jitters, even sweating, being a little dizzy over an exam or a presentation are all actually normal signs of anxiety. When you have a realistic fear of a threatening object, place, or situation, that's normal. What's not normal and blurs the line and crosses over into anxiety disorder is a constant, chronic, or unsubstantiated worry that causes significant stress, disturbs your social life, and interferes with classes and work. Avoidance of common social situations for fear of being judged or embarrassed or even humiliated. Repeated random panic attacks or persistent worry in anticipation of another panic attack. And feeling of terror or impending doom. Irrational fear or avoidance of an object, place, or situation that poses little to no threat or danger. This is where we get into that line of, okay, I may have an anxiety disorder. Does that sound familiar to you guys? Especially for my veterans, especially for my guys who spent a lot of time downrange in some dangerous situations. We learn to accept it and act like it's our normal way of life. But in reality, if we pause and take a look at it, we can realize that we're actually dealing with an anxiety disorder. So what are the symptoms of anxiety? Anxiety feels different depending on the person experiencing it. Feelings can range from just the butterflies in your stomach to that pounding, beating heart out of your chest feeling that you have when you're thinking something's about to happen. It might make you feel out of control, like there's a disconnect between your mind and your body. Other ways people experience anxiety include nightmares, panic attacks, and painful thoughts or memories that you can't even control. You may have general feeling of fear and worry, or you may fear for a specific place or event. If that rings a bell, think about all the things that you come back from deployment and you don't have a good way of handling it. Some of us deal with traffic a little different after coming back because that anxiety of maybe not being in control in the driver's seat or being back in that confined lanes and not being able to barrel through traffic. Symptoms of anxiety include increased heart rate, feeling faint or dizzy, restlessness, rapid breathing, shortness of breath, even a lack of appetite, trouble concentrating, dry mouth, stomach ache, difficulty falling or staying asleep, sweating, fear and apprehension, constant worrying, even shaking and trembling. And again, chills or hot flashes, and even numbness or tingling. Your anxiety symptoms may be totally different from someone else's. That's why you have to sit down and you have to really think and be conscious and aware of how you act and react to stressors in your life. So what can we do about anxiety? We don't have to let it control us, and we don't have to feel like we are hopeless in this. Anxiety can leave us feeling like we have absolutely no control anymore, like we have to wear a mask around our friends and family. But there's a treatment for it. For some people, that means medication, but that's not always necessary. Lifestyle and behavioral changes, that might be enough to cope with it. For more, you can always just restart your own research. You have to be your own advocate. Start Googling relaxation and stress management. You don't have to be fearful of a clinical diagnosis or seeing a doctor. In fact, the strongest and most bravest thing you can do is go seek help to find out and get a final answer to see if you really do need medication. Or maybe you just need to be more mindful and practice other coping techniques. It's not about fear, guys. It's about facing the unknown. In moderate to severe cases, however, treatment can help overcome symptoms and lead to more manageable day of life. Anxiety disorder treatment may involve therapy, which, hey, I can tell you from a guy that's gone through a lot of therapy so far, it's actually really good. And if we've avoided this issue for the majority of our adult life, we can get a lot of relief. But it's not just medication or therapy. For me, it was a combination of both. So be open to getting help and seeking help from professionals who can recommend many ways, many different modalities to address your issues. Trust me, it can change your life for the better. Treatment for anxiety falls into two categories: psychotherapy and medication. Like I said, meeting with a therapist or psychologist can help you learn the tools you need and learn new strategies to cope with it. But do some research on your own. Start reading. Start arming yourself with some tools to start taking back some control of your daily life. The following books are just a recommendation of things that I've read that have helped me gain some insight into my own issues with anxiety. But, like I said before, and I'll say it again, nothing beats going in and getting help, seeking help from a doctor and a therapist to be able to put a stop to anxiety and its control on your life. You don't always have to fear it. Once you start fearing anxiety and how to cope with it, then you're just furthering the issue. A lot of people have a misconception about medication and talking to providers. Don't be scared about it. Maybe you just need someone to talk to. Maybe you just need to be able to vent. But that's for you to go through. That's for you to navigate that road. What I am going to give you is a list of books that can help right now. So, Unwinding Anxiety by Judson Brewer, Winning the War in Your Mind by Craig, and I'm going to butcher this name, Groeschel, and Practicing Mindfulness by Matthew Sokolov. Now, we're going to go into mindfulness in ad nauseum in later. I think I said that right. Probably didn't. We're probably going to go over that in the next episode or maybe a few more. We've touched it, but we never really did a deep dive into it. So we'll talk about it a little more. But just for right now, know that you can go to Amazon, find a book called Practicing Mindfulness by Matthew Sokolov, and really dig into some mindfulness practices that can help you calm and soothe your mind. But since we're in the year 2021 and everybody has a cell phone and everybody loves apps, I've got some great apps for you too. The Calm app, Headspace, and Dare, Anxiety and Panic Relief, are some amazing apps to get started with right now. There's also Breathwork, a breathing exercise app. This can help you today, like right now. Breathwork is something that I utilize every single day, every morning, every time I get in a situation that's going to cause me a lot of stress, and it works. On top of that, I use physical grounding and mental grounding. Don't know what that is? No problem. I'm going to introduce that to you later on as well. But here's a quick snippet. So, physical grounding. For me, I have a coin. And utilizing that coin to keep me in the present moment, I trace it. I feel it in my hand when I get that anxiety and I start worrying or panicking about something in the future. I bring myself back to the present through holding that coin, tracing the figures inside of it, and understanding that I'm right now in the present moment and nothing that I worry about in the future is going to affect me right now. It keeps me grounded in the present moment. Mental grounding is just being able to understand that you're here now in the present. We'll cover all that later on, I promise you. Some other helpful resources are the following websites: www.cci.health.wa.gov.cell. Oh, sorry, .edu. What am I saying? So, again, that's www.cci.health.wa.gov.edu. And there's also www.mcgill.ca. Mood Juice Anxiety Self-Help. It's got some funny drawings on there, but it has a lot of good information for you. And like I said, be your own advocate, be your own research scientist, and start finding answers on how to control your anxiety. You have to. It's your life. Take control of it. We're just here to help you find some resources and get to the right people. And we're going to continue doing that until Greg makes $1 million off of his OnlyFans page, or Paul gets to him first on his Feet Pics OnlyFans page. Until then, this is Cab telling you to enjoy the day. And as long as we're together, that's all that matters.
As always, Security Halt Podcast is proudly sponsored by Hunter Performance Automotive, located in Northern Colorado. They do everything from suspensions, turbo kits, superchargers, to full-on engine swaps. So hit them up today and tell them Greg's mom sent you. Call 970-396-1081. That's Hunter Performance Automotive. Are you tired of subpar patches? Do you want quality leather goods? Do you love fitted baseball caps? Well, your search is over. Grab your phone right now, go to Instagram, click on that search feature, and look up Hammer 41 Leatherworks, and check out what my man Merrill's cooking up for you today for your very own custom order. Because I know once you see what he's got, you're going to put in like 15 orders. Just go to your inbox, type in new email, and type in hammer41leatherworks@gmail.com. My man is surgical with that sewing machine, so hit him up today. That's Hammer41 Leatherworks. Lastly, but certainly not least, if you live in northwest Florida, I'm talking Pensacola, Shalimar, Fort Walton Beach, Niceville, Navarre, Miramar, any of those places, and you're looking for custom artisanal woodwork, look no further than By a Warrior's Hands. It's the only custom woodworking artist that you need. Chris has an impressive resume and catalog of completed work that is sure to take your breath away. Chris and his design team will take on your next project and deliver you the finished piece of your dreams. You can reach Chris at 864-986-9584 or on Facebook by simply searching for By a Warrior's Hands. I'm telling you, this man has a gift, a true artist, and he's passionate for woodworking. He will take whatever dream, whatever project your wife has, and create something that is absolutely breathtaking. Truly an inspirational person to meet, and once you see what he can do, you are going to want to hire him to do your next project. Again, that's Chris at 864-986-9584 or search for By a Warrior's Hands on Facebook. Last and certainly not least, if you or anyone you know wants to come on the show, wants to talk about something, or if you guys just want to sponsor us, send us your info at sechaltpodcast@gmail.com. As always, take care, and we'll see you next week.